benefits are, that's where it's at right now.
Do you know if any of the percussion apps have the ability to take bars off, like an upside down?
They don't. That's another request I've had, and I haven't. So there's two things that I want to do if I could. I would make an app that you could do that. So like in general music, you take off, you only give them the pentatonic scale, right? Or you give them 2 notes, all right? You get C and D. There you go. Happy, And then I'd also, like I was talking about elementary, I'd love to develop the mallet with an aluminum handle with a completely soft head that you can play on your iPad. But nobody seems interested in doing that, and unfortunately, I don't have like the $50,000 to invest into a company to make that happen. It'd be nice if I did. We're just music teachers. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now, you're not going into this profession to make tons of money. Just remember that. Yeah, you're not going to die wealthy. You'll die with a full heart, not a full pocketbook. You know.
Is that scanning app for attendance? Does it have like the red scanning box that they have to actually go up to? Or?
What they'll have is this. If I pull up attendance, and I don't know if I've even got a class in mind right now. I have to find it. I don't know if I do have an existing class in it. When I go to scan in a day, I have to add a day, and then I have to go to that day, and then I do a front scan, and they just walk up to my deal with in my case, their iPad. They hold it up, it scans, next kid comes in, or if they've got it printed, they just hold it up and scan it, and they just go to the next one.
See, our kids all have planners, so I think we can make them
stick it in their planner.
stick it in their planner.
Yeah, it works wonders, and it's a long story, but I've now just started an app referral program where the purchase price of an app, like 7% of it comes to me, and that just started. Apple just started allowing that, so of the same price, but of the 30% that Apple takes. By the way, when you buy an app, 70% goes to the developer, and then 30% goes to Apple. Well, it turns out Apple has this program now where they'll cut off 7% of that 7% of the total price and give it to a referrer. So I've been doing referrals. I'm afraid to think of how many copies of that app, it's a $4 app, have been sold after I've talked to conventions and conferences. I could probably start working on that $50,000 to develop the app if that'd be going. I mean, so it's a great app though. The power is just amazing. And I like it too because it puts the kids responsible for their own attendance too. And they do, and they secretly kind of like going beep because it beeps when you scan it in, and they kind of quietly walk out and beep, the next one goes. You know, it's kind of fun. And you buy a stand, by the way, too, with the iPad stand, because then you stand away from it and you just let them scan in. But again, that's a 2 iPad classroom too, by the way. I talked about that earlier today. I recommend that you have one iPad yourself and one that's a school iPad. The one you use yourself, you can like mirror with and let kids see everything on the screen. The one that's a school iPad, attendance, confidential data where it's, teacherized more.
Just kind of going on.
Yeah.
So, funding-wise,
Yes.
For your personal iPad,
Yes.
like can you get the school to pay for your music apps for the iPad you're using?
I can't.
Yeah.
But here's my thought: is that if it's my own personal iPad too, if you leave your school, it comes with you along with all the stuff you've bought and worked on. And that we'd like to think we're gonna, like you said, we like to think we're gonna spend 30 years at one school. The truth is, you'll be moving. You'll be moving. Your first job usually isn't your dream job, right? And you're gonna take that with you to other places, and you'll go from there. Maybe you'll get lucky, but and then funding of apps is a whole other deal. How do you get schools to pay for that? You may not. And if you're in a Chromebook, they're gonna be like, no, you can come up with it yourself. So you go sell lollipops that Ozark Delight lollipops. You sell those at your school. You sell a few, literally millions of those because kids buy them like crazy. Suddenly you've got $3,000 in your account and you can go buy whatever apps you need. But fundraising is a whole other deal. So.
Is there an attendance app that flips that for a one-to-one school where every kid has an iPad so they can scan a QR code?
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
With that app. Same thing, except it makes, instead of printing out the QR codes, you just save it to their Google folders that they've shared with you. And then they just open their Google folder. I have to take a picture of that then, and then it's in their photo roll. So every day they walk in, they just boop, right off their iPad.
But there's no way where you can have the QR code and they scan that on their way and go with the QR code.
No, nothing like that. But there are a bunch of QR readers where they could actually do that. And then there's a new app called Erasma that actually you take a picture of something and it adds like a virtual reality of what you put on. So like this is kind of new. It's like augmented reality. So like you take a picture of this room of these 3 things and they hold up their iPad in Erasma and it's got that, whatever you saved with those 3 pictures in that shot, it will then act like a augmented reality QR code. It's crazy. Check it out, Erasmus. It's another crazy app.
When your iPad's full, and then you delete off, and it's saved in your cloud. When your cloud's full, is it true you cannot delete off your cloud?
I don't know, that's a great question.
How do you, because we have clouds that are full, and then they say, well, you can have more space if you pay money.
Well, that's true. They do want you to buy the extra deal.
How do you delete apps off your cloud?
I don't know. Any app, like if it's a pure app, the app itself is just not in part of your cloud, it's the data. And you should be able to go into the iCloud, like you go to iCloud.com or whatever, and delete out of that actual directory if there's something you want to delete. We can talk about it later when we take a look. Yeah, you data of the sort. All right, we're past our time, so if you want more questions, email, whatever. All right, thank you.